What's going on, guys? Nate Feldman, Feldman's Lawn and Landscape. Happy almost June. Today is May 31st. Holy cow, what a May it has been. Up here in Western New York, we've had so much rain. The grass has grown so insanely quickly. But you know what? Like I said in one of my previous videos, we're here. We made it. We figured out how to deal with that crazy growing grass and how to get all the lawns done. We got everybody that needed to be done mulch wise, landscaping wise, taken care of by Memorial Day, and the guys are out mowing right now. We got super ahead this week, even with the holiday. Happy Memorial Day too. Thank you for all those who served and gave their life so that we can live in this amazing country and do what we love every day. So thank you so much. Just wanted to say that. But we got super ahead even with Memorial Day. And I think the guys are going to be finished mowing around 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock today, something like that. So that's a huge win. Everybody's just been busting their tail, working so hard. So just the fact that they can have a little bit of an easier Friday, that's awesome. And just the fact that we're ahead allows me the opportunity to be out here getting some landscaping done, which is the premise of this video. I don't want to take too much time, but I wanted to kind of go over what I'm doing, mulching, edging, my techniques, how to make this as profitable as possible, how to make this, because we want to get in here, we want to do an amazing job, but how to make it as quick as possible, and just how to do a good job, leave your clients satisfied, and move on to the next. So behind me, you can see I finished up this front yard. I've been working on it actually just in pieces every day, just because I've been jumping on the mowing crews, trying to keep them moving along as quickly as possible. But I would say right now, I probably have 9 hours, 10 hours into this job. And this job is a 20-yard mulch installation. It's a big one. It's a big one to do, especially by yourself. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about my process. It's so funny. My older sister texted me the other day because her and her husband did their landscaping down in North Carolina. And she was like, I have no idea how you do this every day. It's so hard. We're dead today, because they were telling me the day after they did it. So I appreciate the recognition, but let me tell you a few ways that we get through this and how we stay up with it, how I don't know, we make our lives easier on ourselves because we have a very physical job. Landscaping is insanely physical. I'm gonna be honest, just with the stress of the season, plus, walking between 25 and 30,000 steps every day, I've lost about 25 pounds in the last 2.5 months, which, you know what, I'm actually pretty happy with. Get to burn some of that winter fat. You're just getting shredded for beach season. Not that we ever have time to go to the beach, but I mean, it's a physical job. It's a physical job. But let me tell you a few tips and tricks on how to, get the job done while not absolutely killing yourself, and a little bit about how I take care of my landscaping job solo. And that's actually a preference of mine. I don't mind working with people. I like having help sometimes, but I gotta say, my preference is have the guys out mowing, getting that work done, and then I can just work by myself. I can listen to an audiobook, I can listen to a podcast, and I can just grind away getting this mulching done. But anyway, let me tell you how I do it solo. All right, guys, so this right here is my Toro Dingo TX427. I believe it's a 2011 model. Only has I want to say 1,000 hours on it. The hour meter is broken, but that's because I was cleaning it one day and I kind of rubbed the hour meter a little too hard. But anyway, it has about 1,000 hours on it. I purchased this machine, I think 3 years ago. And the whole reason is if I'm doing any topsoil work, grading work, small stuff, landscaping by myself, I need to rip some shrubs out, I need to move a ton of mulch like I'm doing today. Guys, a Toro Dingo, or just a mini skid steer in general. I know Skag just came out with the Jackal. I really want to try one of those. I know that Bobcat has their MT100 series, but mini skid steers, they are just the bomb.com. My way of doing this is I use the Dingo, I drop piles strategically, kind of mapping out how far one pile can spread. This is just the backyard. Again, I got the front done already, but what I'll do is I'll just take the Dingo, I'll drop piles everywhere, I'll get on my hands and knees. I am a hands and knees spreader guy. I'm not a fan of rakes. I use my hands. You probably can't tell because I've been using gloves. Actually, they're really great gloves too. They have Velcro that go around the wrist, so you're not constantly getting mulch out of your hands and, you know, dyeing your hands black. They will be black by the end of the day, but whatever. But guys, a mini skid steer when landscaping by yourself, I would say if I were starting my business and I were going to be doing a mix of mowing and landscaping, you will always find a use for a mini skid steer. And let me show you guys, actually. Beautiful property, by the way. And this client, she was actually my 4th grade teacher. So when she reached out this past fall, I was so excited to get to work with her. Brought back so many awesome memories. But as you can see, this backyard has a gate. I believe it is 42 inches wide. And mini skid steer, I just crawl it right up along here. And I'm able to dump all over the property. So if I were taking wheelbarrows from the driveway or the street, I parked on the street strategically because when I'm doing turns, when I have the skid steer, I don't want to be doing that on their driveway and scuffing it up a bunch. But imagine just loading up wheelbarrows, going up that hill because it is on a grade, and then going up this hill and then just dumping wheelbarrows. Like we've all done it, but at this stage in the game, work smarter, not harder. So I just, load up the dingo, and 1 bucket full is about 1 Jackson wheelbarrow full of mulch. So I would say maybe like 3 or 4 buckets or wheelbarrows is about a yard. So it's incredibly it's a very strategic way of doing this. It definitely saves your back. It definitely saves your body, because that's the name of the game out here. When we're working 7 days a week for months straight, you gotta preserve your body. So getting a mini skid steer, if you're just starting your business, I actually got this skid steer for 0% financing a couple years ago. And I know that like wherever your dealers are for Toro or Bobcat or Ditch Witch or whatever your preferred mini skid steer is, I always ask or try to find a place that's doing 0% financing, because they're out there, or even very low percent financing. That will help you to get one of these at a very low cost. And also a brand new skid steer like this, I know they can be about like 40 grand or 30 or 40 grand, depending on the model you get. But I got this, I want to say for maybe like $12,000 or $13,000, which of course that's a lot of money, but like amortized over 4 years or 3 years. I'm not sure exactly how long the terms were, but it was 3 or 4 years, 0% financing. I think my monthly payment on it was like $250, somewhere around there. That was a really good move, and it has made me so much money over these years. Just stay up with the maintenance, do the oil changes, look at the hydros, like just take care of it. So anyway, I wanted to show you this, and this is one of my life hacks for landscaping every day, and you know, still being able to wake up in the morning and like move. If you are looking for an equation or just a way to measure and figure out how much mulch you need for a job, I highly recommend checking out Brian's Lawn Maintenance. Go on his channel and he has an equation there for you. I have that equation somewhere, but I'm not gonna try to butcher that off the top of my head. It's not complicated at all, but I just don't wanna mess up those numbers. So go over to Brian's Lawn Maintenance and take a look at that, and he'll shoot you straight on what the equation is for doing, you know, measuring out your mulch jobs. I have been doing this for quite a while now. So I show up to a job and I'm like, oh, that's 8 yards. That's a 3-yard job. That's, you know, for the large stuff, I highly recommend measuring. But like, if you're showing up and you're like, that's a 5-yard job, you get good at stuff, and I don't even measure anymore for the majority of jobs. This one I did. But for, I would say 80-90% of them where it's just a homeowner and they're like, hey, you don't have a lot of mulch, but we need to get it done, you can probably just eyeball it after a certain period of time. But anyway, if you're not able to do that, go to Brian's Lawn Maintenance, figure out that equation, and he'll get you taken care of. Figured I would show you guys the front of this property, and as you can see, leaves and cotton from cottonwood trees are already starting to fall on it and ruin my job a little bit, but that's okay. Everybody understands that. But as you can see, like, by myself, this is quite the property. There's more landscaping up there, but just a sea of black mulch out here. So without that dingo, and something I did too, you can barely see the tracks, I moved these rocks out of the way so that I could access in all different vantage points and directions and whatnot. But yeah, really, really large project to do solo, but hey, we're almost there. We're doing a good job and we're having a good time doing it. If I were only using a wheelbarrow by myself, I don't know if I'd be having nearly as much fun, but I just figured that's what we've been working with, guys. Got a lot more in the back to do too, so I'll show you the finished product. But before I do that, I want to show you something else that's going to be a game changer for you if you're just starting out and you're trying to decide where to put your money when starting a lawn care landscaping business. Okay guys, so if I were starting my landscaping business tomorrow and I had X amount, like not a ton to work with, but I would obviously, mowing side of things aside, I would definitely look into a mini skid steer so that I can get into gated backyards. I can do grading projects, I can do topsoil, I can do mulching, not break my back. So mini skid steer, but you're gonna obviously need a way to move your mini skid steer, and you're also gonna need a way to move material. So one thing you could do is you could get like a dump truck or just a regular, probably at least a 3/4 ton truck. So like an F-250, like a Ford F-250, or like a Chevy 2500, Ram 2500, something like that, with a dump insert in the back. I know Dumper Dog makes a good one. If you watch Brian's Lawn Maintenance, he has one of those. So you can always check something like that out. But unfortunately, like a dingo or a mini skid steer, those things weigh like well over 1,000 pounds, could be like over maybe close to 2,000 pounds. So throwing that in the back of a truck would be pretty rough on the suspension, on the shocks. So I wouldn't really recommend that. And if I were just starting out with a pickup truck, I would definitely invest in a dump trailer. I got a SureTrack 16-foot dump trailer because I live in the Buffalo South towns, primarily do work in Orchard Park, Hamburg, and there, as you can see, there are a lot of like beautiful, huge properties out here that require a lot of material. So instead of getting like, I don't know, a 8-foot, 10-foot, 12-foot dump trailer, I decided, sorry about that, I decided to just go with a 16-foot. I think from a 12-foot to a 16-foot, it was only a $1,500 difference at the time. That was like 3 years ago. And I said 4 extra feet, which will you could easily put 4 more yards of material in there if you stack it up with boards and whatnot. But instead of taking like 2 or 3 trips, wasting all that time, 1 trip with the dump trailer, like even with this, well, granted, 20-yard mulch install, probably two trips. This is my 2nd trip. You can see we're working our way through there. Even without boards, I can fit 10 yards with the tarp over the top of it in here. So that's super helpful. So guys, dump trailer, absolute must if you're doing landscaping. You can haul your skid steer, your mini skid steer. Obviously just check with the weights, with the gross vehicle weight rating that's on the trailer. See how much you can safely tow and haul. Also check with your truck too, because I have the Power Stroke and this 22 Ford F-250, so I can tow just about anything I want. Of course, like you don't want to go over 26,000 pounds because then you're in CDL range. But make sure if you are towing heavy, just check all the boxes, take a look at everything, make sure that you're DOT compliant. So go on the DOT website. There's a lot of scams out there, but just make sure that you're doing everything you can to make sure that you're not doing anything illegal. Make sure you're safe about it. And just because you can put 10 yards of topsoil in this dump trailer doesn't mean your truck can pull that, and you don't want to ruin anything or break anything. So just keep that in mind. But guys, having to scoop material, or even with the dingo, I just go and I put the bucket in there, scoop it out, and at that alone, instead of scooping and filling up wheelbarrows, that saves me maybe like what, 30 seconds, 45 seconds to a minute per wheelbarrow. Like I'm not even doing that, I'm just scooping and going. So using that mini skid steer, guys, I tell you, it cuts the job in half, if not more. So definitely keep that in consideration. And instead of like bending over and like having mulch delivered, which there's nothing wrong with that when you get started, but instead of like bending over, scooping the material, putting it in a wheelbarrow, like having it right there, even if you are scooping the material and you don't have a mini skid steer, like obviously not everyone does, especially in the beginning, scooping out of here, like where it's probably 2.5 feet off the ground, 3 feet off the ground, scooping out of there and just kind of like pouring it into the wheelbarrow rather than scooping it off the ground, bending over, and then putting it in there. That just saves your back so much. It's really a big difference, especially when you're 1 month in and your body's like, oh man, I'm exhausted. 2 months in, now you're really exhausted. You'll see the benefits over time as your body's holding up better. So just a couple tips here for you with mulching, how I do things by myself. Also, guys, I want to say when you're mulching, a lot of times you're going to have to put an edge on. Luckily over here, they have a rock border around everything, so not a lot of edging there. But for a lot of my mulch jobs, you have to edge everything before you do that. And you know, a lot of our properties we maintain yearly. Sometimes we'll go back in the summertime or the fall and just kind of touch them up a bit. So I have one of those steel combi systems, and one of the attachments for it is a bed redefining tool. Look into it. Look into a steel combi system. It kind of looks like weed whacker head, and then you can put attachments on it. And the bed redefiner tool, you can only use it when the ground is dry. Don't use it when it's sloppy and wet outside. So I've only been able to use it a few times this year, because then I'm back to a spade or a shovel to edge. But look into a steel combi system with that bed edger attachment, because you can go, and what would take you to like really toss a nice edge on a landscaping bed, what would take you maybe an hour, will only take you like 10-15 minutes with that thing. So really recommend looking into that to speed things up and increase your profitability. And then what I do to really keep the customers happy and let them, like, I love hearing customers say, oh my gosh, this edge is so beautiful, it's so crisp. I'll take a weed whacker and I'll toss a weed whacker edge on my edges as well, just so that even the grass just looks like a straight line going right across the board. So it's just going the extra mile, making people happy, doing what you can to, you know, kind of separate yourself and have people be like, wow, I want Feldman's Lawn and Landscape, I want Brian's Lawn Maintenance, I want B&B Lawn Care, I want, you know, Joe Schmo Landscaping to do mine, because oh my gosh, it just looks so good compared to everyone else in the neighborhood. So always strive to be that guy. But yeah, so I'm gonna get back to it, and then I will show you the finished product, the front and the back. And again, doing this all myself, guys. Have four guys, 2 crews out there. We're almost done with over 140 lawns on the week. And like I said, they're gonna be done pretty soon. So I would say the sun's out, the work's getting done. Happy as a clam over here. All right, talk to you guys soon. Whew. Well guys, as promised, it's the end of the day. What a beautiful day it was. It was like upper 60s all day, sunny, not a cloud in the sky. But I'm in this neighborhood called Eagle Heights up here, and as you can see, just so many trees, a lot of shade, like just a perfect day for working. So I think it's like 6:30 right now, but we got it done. So I'm going to show you guys now the finished product. So as I showed you before, we have the front yard. This bed alone, I'm gonna guess took maybe like, oh man, I'm gonna guess it took maybe 7-8 yards of mulch. Beautiful property. I feel like I'm in like Snow White's woods or something like that. I'm not gonna show you guys too much of the back, because as I said, it's 6:30 on a Friday night, and the family, I don't know, I don't want to intrude, and I saw them out there throwing a football and whatnot, so I'll just give you a peek of the back. Oh man, but so much work. How are you guys doing? You guys getting those landscaping jobs done? Drop a comment if you're staying on top of it. Drop a comment if you need someone to console you because you're just overwhelmed. Me too. But here we are. So we have this. Expands all the way back there. And that's Shrek the Bulldog. He is awesome. And there's a bit more landscaping over there to the left, but I'm not gonna go over there just because I don't want to intrude too much. But holy cow, it was a lot. But without that dingo, man, this would not have been done for at least another couple days. So very thankful for that. But there you go, guys. We nailed it. Couple techniques for you too. So when you're mulching, you can use a rake, or you can use your hands to spread, or, you know, some guys have like those giant machines that you can like just like spray the stuff out of the tube. We're not there. I prefer, people say all the time, they like make fun of me, but I prefer to spread mulch with my hands. So I'm on my hands and knees, and I feel like I just have better control that way. I can get it like in between rocks, tree roots, just, I don't know, I feel like I have better control. I don't waste as much material. So I like to do that. And guys, just like just a tip for you here, if you are running low on material on a job and you're like, oh man, I don't know if I'm gonna have enough mulch to finish this one up, but it's getting close. I recommend using handfuls. So instead of like taking a wheelbarrow or a shovel and like dumping just in different spots, keep it in the wheelbarrow, take it with your hands, and just kind of throw it like a rugby ball. If you've ever seen someone play rugby, they take it in their hands and they kind of like throw it underhand a little bit. Do that. And for some reason, it like just glides across the ground and it spreads so much better. So we were I was super efficient on this job. And I did a lot of handful spreading. Like I would take from the piles on the ground and I would just like throw it and glide it. And we did really well with materials on this job. Only took 2 trips with the dump trailer, like I said. Didn't need anything extra. Have a little bit extra, so I'm going to actually use this on one of our HOAs. But if you want to be super efficient with your material on a mulch job, try handfuls. Try sprinkling it and not dumping it all in one spot, because it seems to get, you waste it a little bit that way. But guys, thank you for tuning into this video. Doing a job like this solo, I could have brought guys in on this project, but one, everybody's working their butt off. I want to give them a little bit of time to recover after a long week, especially because we're mowing so much, with the double, triple cuts. It's May, June tomorrow. Very excited about that. But also, I like this time by myself because I'm able to just focus on doing my thing. I listen to an audiobook or a podcast while I'm doing it, and it's just, I don't know, it's like my buddy Will, he says when you're solo mowing or you're doing stuff by yourself, it's like a little therapy session because you're solving the world's problems in your head. Shout out to you, Will Smith Landscaping. But yeah, so it's nice to do this by myself. But if you are in a situation where you only can do this by yourself, I highly recommend, obviously, dump trailer. If you have the ability and the budget and you don't want to spend it on labor, get yourself a mini skid steer. Brand, people are going to say like, oh, what brand would you use? Personally, I like Toro. I use Toro mowers, as you guys have seen in my other videos. I really like the Toro Dingo. I have an old one, TX427. If I were to upgrade tomorrow, I'd get a TX1000. Which I'm not going to upgrade for the time being, but I'm sure in the future it will happen. So I really like these Toro ones, but it all depends on dealer support with you and where you're at. If you have a Bobcat dealer, get an MT100. If you have like a Skag dealer and they have Jackals, like get a Jackal. Obviously, you can find some really good used stuff out there too. That's what I did. I didn't want to break the bank on a mini skid steer because we do a lot of mowing and we do a bit of landscaping, not a ton. But I figured, hey, let's not ball out 40 grand on a brand new one. Let's get a used one. So anyway, if you guys have any questions about anything in terms of mulch jobs, how to get them done, how to do them efficiently, like what's our process, feel free to drop me a comment. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have. Send me a message, and I'm an open book. Just send me a message or leave me a comment and I'll get back to you and I'll kind of tell you what my process is. But guys, thank you so much for tuning into today's video. I'm so tired. I'm gonna go probably get some Chick-fil-A for dinner and hang out with my wife because I haven't seen her in a while. It's been such a long week. But guys, May, we did it. Tomorrow is June. So good job. Have a fantastic first week of June, and I will catch you guys on the next video. All right, see you later.